Have you ever witnessed something strange, but everyone demanded a video before they would believe you? You wouldn't have believed what we're about to show you in today's video if it weren't for the fact that it was recorded on camera. From a horse that actually walks into a bar to a man licking a doorbell for 3 hours. Make sure you stick around until the end. You don't want to miss out on the real-life Dobby caught on CCTV. Here are 15 most strange moments caught on camera. Number 15. The breathing forests. Forests are often dubbed the lungs of Earth, but as beautiful as the metaphor is, trees don't actually breathe in the common sense of the word. Or do they? The oxygen on the planet comes from the tiny puffs of trillions of trees and plants. We return by giving off carbon dioxide. Typically, we're unable to see this process. However, this strange video filmed in a forest in Sacré-Cœur, Quebec, Canada, shows what appears to be the Earth itself doing a deep breathing exercise, lurching up and down with a surreal force. The trees bend and appear to be about to break as a result of the wind's violent whipping. Overall, it creates a spooky scene straight out of the Twilight Zone. It's not an earthquake, and most definitely it's not an Ent from The Lord of the Rings. And it's not, thankfully, the snoring of some vengeful forest deity marshaling her power. It's just the wind. The ground becomes saturated during a rain and windstorm, loosening the soil's cohesion with the roots as the wind blows on the tree's crown. The wind is attempting to push the trees over, and as the forces move to the roots, the ground begins to heave. It's a battle of the elements, air versus earth, wind versus root. This battle appears to have been won by the terrestrial forces. But the forest would start to collapse if the wind picked up a little more force or lasted a little longer because the tree roots would start to shatter with such brute force. However, those who believe in conspiracies think it was more than just the wind. They say it is the result of a great beast trapped under the mossy ground of the forest. We are unable to decide whether it was the trapped beast or the wind. Comment below with your ideas to let us know what you think. Number 14. Yowie caught on camera. The Australian outback is well known for its dangerous creatures, such as snakes and scorpions. However, legend has it that this vast wilderness is also home to a number of mythical creatures, including a beast named Yowie that resembles Bigfoot. Hundreds of witnesses have claimed to have seen a 2-meter-tall, hairy ape-like creature stalking the Australian bush over the last 2 centuries. However, Yowie is only occasionally caught on camera. A man in Queensland placed his camera on a trail for security reasons.
It's disappeared.
But it captured something suspicious, and upon closer inspection, it was discovered that it captured a yowie passing through it. Australia is said to be home to 2 types of yowies. One can stand 10 feet tall, while the other can only stand 4 or 5 feet tall. They are typically described as having ape-like faces and orangey-brown hair that grows to be 2 to 4 inches long. Despite its fearful demeanor, the creature is capable of violence and aggression. However, stories of giant ape-like creatures stalking the bush are not unique to Australia. The creature is prevalent in indigenous oral histories from all over the country and from many different nations. It is known as the Sasquatch or Bigfoot in North America, the Yeti in Himalayan culture, and the Yiran in Chinese culture. Number 13. Venice versus cruise ship. Can't find a parking space? Make one. That's exactly what happened at the deck of Venice when a cruise ship crashed into a tourist boat and the dock. The MSC Opera cruise ship, apparently unable to stop due to alleged computer system failure, slammed into the much smaller River Countess boat and the dock, sending dozens of people screaming for help. The engine was shut down, but with the thrust turned on, the speed increased. As a result, it smashed the port of Venice, nearly crushing a tourist boat and injuring 5 people. The Opera cruise ship is a small cruise, but it is still 275 meters long, nearly the length of 3 football fields, and weighs 66,000 tons, having the strength to hammer through Venice's fragile historic fabric. Fortunately, no damage was done to the city of Venice, but the mayor has ordered that the cruise change its route to keep this historic and beautiful city safe from further accidents. Number 12. Mystery drones of Nebraska. Unknown objects captured by cameras are mysterious, but perfectly aligned drones captured by cameras are even more so. There have been numerous reports of massive unexplained drones swarming the night sky in western Nebraska and now in some parts of eastern Nebraska. The fact that these drones were always flying at night is particularly compelling. People have no idea what they're doing there. There has been no response from federal agencies or local governments, and no one is sure what is going on. Drones are extremely complex and advanced. They can be used in film production, disaster relief, and agricultural monitoring. Or maybe they're transporting extraterrestrials? However, if you look closely, you'll notice there's not much to look at out here, so you wonder what they're up to if they're not looking at anything. What if anything is going on? It certainly tickles one's curiosity. Nobody has ever seen anything like it patrolling before. It's dark and you can see stars all the time. So anything unusual in the sky piques your interest. To add to the mystery, no one, not even the Federal Aviation Administration, knows what these drones are doing other than flying in a pattern being large and numerous. Number 11. Shark giving birth. The extraordinary reproductive methods of sharks are truly mind-blowing. Sharks give birth to live young, but the embryo develops inside an egg, which feeds the embryo. When the embryo is ready to be born, it emerges from the egg while still inside the mother. One female caught off the coast of Taiwan was discovered to be carrying 300 pups, all of which were at various stages of development. This gave rise to the incredible theory that female sharks choose when their eggs are fertilized. A real strong, independent mom. Something similar was caught on camera on a fishing boat. During a fishing trip, the crew caught a large fish, a shark. They were both amazed and excited about this, but something even more amazing was about to happen. Within a few minutes, a baby shark emerged from her mother, stunning everyone. That was not the end of it. A few moments later, another baby emerged. They let the baby swim freely in the ocean, and they were out of sight in a matter of minutes. Number 10. Doorbell liquor. The storyline is fairly straightforward. A strange man arrived at a home in Salinas, California on New Year's Eve. The parents were not at home, but the children were. From there, he proceeded to lick the doorbell, and boy, did he ever lick. For 3 hours, he licked and licked. That's it. He licked the doorbell for at least 3 hours. He took short breaks, but for the most part, he licked. The family was fortunate to have installed a camera near the doorbell that begins recording when there is movement and allows them to get a good look at the creepy man. The family, whose doorbell was the target of liquor tongue, handled the situation excellently. However, police are still looking for him, who will face charges of prowling. This video raises a plethora of questions, the most unsettling of which is why in the name of all that is holy is he making eye contact with the camera? He couldn't possibly have known about the small, hidden camera, so what is he looking at? We have watched this video far too many times that every time we feel the creepy liquor man staring deeply into our souls. Number 9. Rarest white whale. You are currently watching the rarest animal on this planet. Albino whales are extremely rare. A male albino humpback was found in 1991 off the coast of Byron Bay, Australia. He is in his mid-30s and is known as Migaloo, or white fella. His age and gender have been determined by his singing behavior as well as genetic testing. Albinism is a genetic condition characterized by a lack of pigmentation in the skin. This variation is caused by a lack of the enzyme required to produce melanin. Animals can be completely or partially albino. Albinos with pink eyes, nails, scales, eyes, or hair are considered pure albinos. They're pink because the blood vessels show through without coloration. This is not the case for humans and some other species because of the way light passes through the iris. In these cases, the eyes appear light blue or green. Other marine animal species with albinism have been documented, including gray whales, southern right whales, and dolphins. In one spectacular sighting off Australia's Gold Coast, the whale appeared to be aware that it was being photographed and was seen breaching and waving for cameras. Migaloo was first discovered while passing through Byron Bay in eastern Australia. The rare whale has become something of a legend among whale watchers since its first sighting. Number 8. a sloth gets free ride to shore. Something in the water caught the attention of a fisherman who was fishing from a boat with his brothers on a lake in Brazil. A furry animal, which he initially mistook for an otter, was swimming a short distance away.
Amigo, la cara.
The group then moved in closer for a better look. To everyone's surprise, the mystery animal turned out to be a sloth. He apparently chose the direct route across to the opposite shore rather than walking all the way around. Sloths, fortunately, are capable swimmers, but somewhat among the slowest. The fisherman and his brothers, however, decided to give the little guy a ride to his destination. From the visuals of this surprise encounter, the sloth seemed to enjoy the free ride. The sloth simply continued on his way after reaching the shore, significantly shortening the time required for his slow-motion journey across the lake. Fishermen remembered that unlikely catch more than any other fish, as it was an incredible experience for him, unlike anything else that had ever happened before. Nobody would have believed it if it hadn't been caught on camera. Number 7. A horse's bar. So a horse entered a bar, but before the bartender could ask, "Why the long face?" the horse charged through the room, bucking her legs and knocking over tables. It may sound like a joke, but the entire event was captured on the bar's surveillance camera, allowing the rest of the world to see the lengths a horse will go to get a drink. The young horse appeared to have attempted to flee a life at a racetrack and stable in Chantilly, France, just north of Paris. According to the filly's trainer, the horse broke free while being led from her stable to the racetrack and has a knack for hopping. After breaking free, the horse charged headlong into a nearby bar. The horse charged into the bar at full gallop, startling customers and the bartender, scattering chairs, colliding with tables, and sending thirsty patrons fleeing for the exits. Nobody can quite believe it really happened. Despite all the destruction, no one was injured, including the horse. Number 6. Flying fish. You might be wondering if it's a bird or it's a plane, but the answer is it's a fish. Most people associate fish with the ability to swim across the water, but some fishermen claim to have seen fish with wings flying above the sea. Weird? One fisherman was sitting in a small boat off the coast of Gran Canaria when he heard a strange whirring sound similar to when kids stick playing cards through the spokes of their bicycles. He heard it a few times and was curious what it was, and then it hit him right in the face. It was actually a flying fish. It flopped for a few seconds around the boat before being picked up and thrown back into the ocean. And now we consult science, and we are sorry to disappoint you. Flying fish cannot actually fly, at least not in the way we normally think of flying. They can't fly by flapping their wings as birds do. They do, however, use their enormous pectoral or side fins to glide across the ocean surface. First, they swim very fast underwater, reaching speeds of more than 35 miles per hour. Then, they use this momentum to propel themselves out of the water and fan their fins out to glide forward. Flying fish can fly for up to 650 feet. That's more than a tenth of a mile. Their sleek, streamlined bodies also aid in their flight through the air. Before we go on, do like this video, smash that subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. It's time for today's subscriber pick. One of our subscribers sent us this image. A group of tourists were exploring Tanzania's Minziro forest when they heard some strange noises behind the bushes. They followed the noise out of curiosity, and what they discovered was shocking. Something never seen before. A strange creature lurked behind the trees. When the creature became aware of their presence, it began to climb the tree. It wasn't a typical climb, but more of a smooth glide to the treetop. It vanished behind other trees in a matter of seconds, never to be seen again. What kind of monster is this? Is it a unique kind of Yowie? Remember to comment down below with the hashtag subscriberpick and let us know what you think of it. Now, on to the next topic. Number 5. Squid Ink versus fisherman. Okay guys, welcome to the elementary school biology lesson. Squids use ink to protect themselves from predators. When they are threatened, they expel thick ink from their bodies, which forms a dark cloud in the water, blocking their predators' view and allowing them to successfully escape and live to see another day. Although we admire squids for doing this because the majority of them are relatively harmless and most survive in some way, surely we would never want to be in a situation where one of these creatures feels the need to ink us. This Australian fisherman, on the other hand, received the full facial. He was ecstatic after reeling in a fairly large squid off the coast of St. Kilda near Adelaide, when the squid decided to blow its load of ink. The fisherman was covered in it, including his face. The smile on his face fades to gloom in a few seconds as his buddy sits back and laughs the entire time. Now, we are no expert in these matters, but something tells us that shirt is now ruined, and it'll probably take him a hot minute to completely remove the ink from his body. Well, good luck, my friend. Number 4. Best friend fish. No matter how many stories we've read about oceans and rivers, the majority of them involve a fisherman catching a fish. But this is a big world, and we have some beautiful real stories. In a story straight out of a fairy tale, an adorable fish captured one man's heart in a friendship that lasted nearly 3 decades. Hiroyuki Arakawa, a scuba diver, met a fish named Yoriko nearly 30 years ago. During his dive, he noticed Yoriko's mouth was badly injured. And she approached him asking for help. Arakawa spent the next 10 days hand-feeding Yoriko meat from crabs he hammered open for her near the submerged temple gate, realizing she'd be unable to catch her own food. Fortunately, Yoriko recovered quickly from her injuries. The pair's bond grows stronger after her recovery. According to Arakawa, they understand each other. They do not literally talk to each other, but they still understand. He even kissed her once. Probably he is the only person she'll let do it. Number 3. Dobby in a driveway. A Dobby-like creature caught on camera is one of the strangest mysteries, and number 3 on our video. A mother shared a security camera video of an alien-like figure walking down a driveway. The video caused quite a stir, with many people comparing the figure to Mac from Mac and Me and Dobby from Harry Potter. Several months after the video first began circulating, many investigators tried to crack the case in an amusing way. Several theories emerged in the aftermath of the original video, with some speculating that it was a young child wearing underwear on their head. His son, on the other hand, claims that he was not the creature in the video, in part because he and his mother were inside watching television at the time. To this day, no one knows the answer for certain, but it does rule out some possible explanations. It has also been ruled out that it was marketing for the Harry Potter Wizards Unite mobile game. Either way, it looks like Dobby is finally a free elf. So what do you think is really behind this Dobby video? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Number 2. Shape-shifting UFO. Humans have always been intrigued by the possibility of extraterrestrial life. While some dismiss the idea, others share some hard-to-ignore facts about seeing a UFO. Adding to the numerous UFO sightings over the years, this one was captured on camera by a plane passenger. A plane video shows a shape-shifting UFO flying thousands of feet above Earth. According to the traveler, the UFO flew alongside for 7 minutes. A conspiracy theorist posted the video on YouTube. He speculated that the object in the sky was most likely a plasma-based life form that was difficult to identify.
I'm sorry.
What is that?
There's a passenger on the plane.
The footage shows a white glowing object flying higher than the airplane. The outline of the mysterious object resembles a drone or a plane. It quickly begins to transform and lengthen. The object's white lights then transform into a Y-shaped figure. When the plane passenger attempts to focus the zoom on the craft, the shape changes from vertical to horizontal. The plane's altitude varies between 10,000 and 30,000 feet, and this object is filmed for 7 minutes, while always flying above the plane's altitude and appears to be moving alongside the plane. This object can technically be classified as a UFO, or it could be a biological entity or a plasma-based life form. However, science geeks believe it could be a camera zoomed in on a large water droplet outside the window. It looks like water under a microscope, especially near the end. Is it a UFO, or do you think it's a water droplet? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 1. the man who never existed. Every now and then, we come across stories that leave us with an unsettling sense of unanswered questions. It appears that our brains have put us on notice, forcing us to fill in the blanks until we are satisfied. And the Peter Bergman case, the man who was an expert at evading cameras, is one of those mysteries that has kept cops, journalists, and internet investigators on edge for the past 11 years. The story begins on a quiet beach in Ireland where a local discovers a human body. At first glance, it appeared that the man had gone for a swim, drowned, and then washed up on the beach during low tide. But this is where things started to get strange. There was no documentation confirming his identity found inside his clothes. Even stranger, all of his clothing tags, including his undergarments, had been carefully cut away with scissors. The police also couldn't find Peter Bergman on any of the lists of legal immigrants to the UK, and the address Bergman left while checking into a nearby hotel turned out to be forgery. But things got even weirder. Bergman's final days were known to some extent thanks to an extensive network of CCTV cameras in Sligo, Ireland, where he stayed for 3 days. Bergman also left his hotel at least 13 times with a full purple bag, and each time he returned with an empty bag. Another strange fact about Bergman, he was an expert at avoiding cameras. Bergman appeared to be aware of the camera's locations and used their blind spots deftly to remove the contents of the bag without being noticed. The cops searched the entire city but found nothing. What was inside that purple bag? What was he doing in Sligo, a sleepy little Irish town, in the first place? And why hasn't anyone asked for him in the last 11 years? No one knows the exact answer to this day. Well, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. So which footage shocked you the most, and do you have any unusual footage that you think should be included in our next video? Tell us in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps us to understand the kinds of videos you like, and that way we can tell what kind of topics you're looking to watch next. Tap that bell icon if you love to learn new things, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.